You know, this has been an amazing process. I've been here a little over 10 years, and I've never seen anything like this. We voted cloture a few days ago to move to debate nothing. And now we've got a bill here today that, as the Senator Murphy has already pointed out, will rip health care away from millions of people, increase premiums by 20% a year, and basically solve none of the problems that are out there that need to be solved that affect Americans every day, especially rural Americans. And I must thank the Senator from Washington, Senator Murray, for the motion to take this back to committee. This is where we should have started. We should have started in the committee process like our forefathers had designed this place how to work, the greatest deliberative body in the world, but it didn't. Every bill has been drafted by a select few in a back room with no input from anybody, especially people from rural America. So it is really time, folks, to open this process up. As I've gone around the state of Montana, and I have for the last 8 months, talking to folks about health care in rural America, they're very nervous. And I'm going to tell you something. If people cannot pay their bills because they don't have health insurance or they don't have the money, it's going to put these small hospitals at risk, these rural hospitals at risk. I'll tell you a little bit about the town that I grew up in. This is a town where my grandparents homesteaded over 100 years ago. From the time of the homestead era until the mid-'60s, they didn't have a hospital. Their hospital was the top floor of a place that sold dry goods. Well, in the mid-'60s, they finally scratched up enough money and they built a hospital. Big Sandy's not near as big today as it was back then. And I'm going to tell you, the hospital administrators from these small hospitals, the folks in the Montana Hospital Association have told me if charity goes up, they could well close at a bare minimum, change their method of delivery for health care. What does that do to a small town? Well, oftentimes the hospital is the largest employer in that town. They usually fight with the school district for that honor. You take that hospital out, you take the heart and soul out of that community. You want to see a mass exodus from rural America, even bigger than it has been over the last 50 years? Pass this bill. Pass this bill. This isn't about numbers and it's not about words, it's about people. And Big Sandy's not unique. Every rural town in the state of Montana that has a hospital is in that position. It's the same thing in Wyoming, same thing in North and South Dakota. It's probably the same thing in more urban states that have rural areas, where these small hospitals will be put at risk of closure. It's just not right. And I'm going to tell you that if we followed the process that should be followed in this great body, we would take this health care bill and put it back in committee, have a debate, listen to ideas from everybody, rural and urban alike, farmers and ranchers, business people, healthcare professionals, families, doctors, nurses, and we could come up with a bill that could work for this country. But that's simply not the case here tonight. And we should not be proud of this at all. Our forefathers set up a great system that can work, and the majority has chosen to ignore that system. It's a disgrace to the Senate. I yield the floor.